Hi, I'm Anthony, and this is the BRAID Xterra. And today we're going to tell you a little bit about BRAID's Beadlock B system. We're looking at the BRAID Full Race T Dakar with the Beadlock B system. And what we're going to talk about is what makes the Beadlock B system different than a traditional beadlock system, which BRAID also offer on this wheel as the Beadlock A system. Now, this system, the Beadlock B, uses these bolts that thread through the wheel face here and sort of pinch down on the bead on the other side of the wheel here, which we're going to take one of these bolts out of the wheel in a second here and actually show you how that works and how to install them correctly. But to start out with, now with the traditional beadlock system, you would have a separate ring that bolts onto the wheel, and you'd have quite a few more bolts, and you'd have the separate ring like we mentioned, and that would be what locks the tire bead to the wheel and prevents it from slipping over the side or debeading. So we've removed one of the bolts from the Beadlock B system so that you could have a look at the bolt here that it uses and how that works. Now, as you can see, it's just a bolt that threads through the face of the wheel, and it's got a bit of a point to it there at the end, as you can see, and that is actually what is physically now pressing down against the tire bead behind the wheel. And when you drop the tire pressure, in a situation where you want to air down, it's going to be this little guy here, and the rest of the bolts that go through the face of the wheel that are actually physically locking the bead against the wheel face by threading in and pinching down on the tire bead. Alright, now you've had a look how BRAID's Beadlock B system actually works. I'm going to run you through real quickly just what the installation of the bolts would be like if this was the first time installing the tire on the wheel. Now, obviously you'd already have your tire mounted, and what you would do the first time installing the bolts into the wheel is you would actually air the tire up to whatever its maximum recommended tire pressure would be. And reason for that is we're going to want the tire bead to sit really firmly up against the lip of the wheel here, so that when we thread our bolt down into the hole there, that the face of it is going to really pinch down very tightly against the wheel bead, obviously. Now, really simply, all you need to do for that is to just go ahead and thread the bolts. And you want to make sure that obviously you get the threads started nice and straight. And you go ahead, thread the bolt down. And then you're going to take your 10mm socket and the ratchet. Make sure that you've really got the socket down firmly around the bolt. And just tighten the bolt down. Now, we're going to tighten this all the way down until we just feel the bolt seat against the bead, and then sort of the same way that you would torque your wheel lug nuts down, you would torque your beadlock bolts down in a similar pattern, just so that it obviously seats down evenly and we're not pinching one corner all at once too much, especially seating them down for the first time. And that's it. That's pretty much the installation of your Beadlock B system. And once you've installed all the bolts, the only thing left to do is air down to whatever normal tire pressure you'd be running, which in the case for the Xterra here would be around 38-40 psi cold, is what we run our tires at. And there you have it. Alright, I hope you guys found that information useful. If you want any more information on BRAID's Beadlock B system or have any questions about the BRAID Xterra, feel free to contact me at braidxterra@gmail.com, and also make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram under #BraidXterra. Until next time.